Hi, I'm Sailor Moon, and I'm Sailor Earth here. And today, we're gonna talk about, okay, now there's this one thing that we always want to talk about, but it's nothing bad, but I think we have talked about it many times. But, okay, so what did, make Nako Takaguchi and Toei break up? Now, a lot of folks, no, hold on. We already talked about that one. So, yeah. Alright. So, everyone is going to wonder what our next goals are going to be, what we're going to do next. Since now we have our new LG Reckoner, we got our new Jelly Web Shooter, and everyone's wondering if this is going to shift the way we do our films. No, even if the films take longer to get up on YouTube, we're still going to be making the films. You know? So, anyway, everyone always asks us, oh, why we never became a YouTube mate. Why we never went through that whole headache of having a Google AdSense or getting, business backing and affording. Why we never went with business wises and stuff like that. Well, first off, we just never wanted to put ourselves out there. You see, we are happy enough to follow the YouTube oversight as far as followership oversight and ownership law goes, and as far as the COPA law goes, we didn't mind following those ones if we had to follow them. Alright? If it's a law, you have to follow it, but if it's oversight, yeah, you gotta follow it. Anyway, those are the only things that we were gonna do. As far as the land leadership went and YouTube went, that was it. If you want to be a YouTube business mate, you put yourself out there in another oversight that may have been the YouTube mate oversight, which has probably had more oversights to follow than you already were following if you were already a nun mate. And then on top of that, you had to be business-wise friendly. And on top of that, there were probably a bunch of other oversights that you had to read up on, or at least have some wisdom on, before you even went through all of that. And we just didn't want to go for all that. And there also, first, the whole being lit in and lit out thing still happens. I mean, our films don't really get a lot of watch time. Okay, maybe some of them do, but they don't get enough watch time that some business would come in and say, oh, we want to sell some business wise on that film. And then they look and see it's only getting like 38 views or maybe 10. And they go, oh, well, not enough folks are going to watch that. Even if they skip it, it's still not enough folks. So of course that wouldn't work out. And then you get looked at more. Right, Sailor? Oh yeah, Sailor Moon. You get looked at more for being a mate than you do if you were a nun mate. I know a lot of folks seem to believe that YouTube mates get more freedom, but the truth is you got more freedom as a non-business mate. True, you do have to follow the YouTube ownership oversight. You do have to follow ownership law. Yes, you do have to follow the YouTube followership oversight. You do got to follow the YouTube oversight of work. But at the end of the day, those are the only three things you got to follow, and YouTube doesn't look over your shoulder at all unless someone sends it to them to look at. If you're a YouTube business mate, you're getting your shit looked at by YouTube once it fillets, because you got to tell them every single thing that is or not in your film while it's being sent to YouTube. After it fillets, so it becomes playable. Then you're also having businesses look at your films because they want to buy business-wise on it. So there's a lot of good things that can go wrong that can either harm your good standing, if you already did something to harm your good standing. So no, it was not going to be for us, you know. And then let's not forget that that income or trade worth or gouge you're making is tollable, meaning that some of it's going to go out for the land and the irks and the near for income toll. I would say earldom, but almost all the earldoms and the ondit irks all do some kind of some kind of land toll or whatever they call it, high toll, whatever they call it. So anyway, but yeah, and if you don't want to have a toll reckoning, then that's a way to get one. If you know how to handle that sort of thing, okay. And if you're one of those folks that's on some kind of thing where, if you're like on SSI or something, or anything like that, that might fuck it up, because that shit goes up and down. It doesn't stay as, the hours don't keep the same and the income don't keep the same. So that might fuck it up. So yeah, there's a lot of shit that one has to, some folks want to go through. Good for them, but we don't. You're right, Sailor. Never wanted to go through that. You know, in the past, when everybody kept talking about how good MATESHIP was and all the upsides on it, and they wouldn't talk about any of the downsides. Well, some mates would talk about the downsides, and then some mates out there wanted to fight for it and say you couldn't seek any wrong with it, blah 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 blah. It's only been around since 2007 YL, and apparently there's a lot of shifts that happen. Apparently the COPA thing cuts back on how much folks earn or make, cut back on how much they make. And apparently if you're talking about illnesses and sicknesses and fights and other things, apparently it gets cut back a bit too. So anyway, not want to go through that. And I'm happy that I don't go through that. You know, of course that might irk some folks out there. Someone out there who thinks that, that thinks that it's smooth and they don't understand why some will not do it. Well, it's not. Okay? First, you gotta make the Google AdSense. Get the Google AdSense team to set that up for you. Then you gotta somehow get that set into YouTube. Then you gotta go through and you gotta say yes and no to a whole bunch of things and stand in all kinds of oversights. And if you're lucky, you're in. If you're not lucky, then you're not in. Then you gotta hold for them to say that. Then you gotta hold for them just to tell you that you got your films in to have business wises on it. Yeah. I'm not going for all that shit, and I never will. You know? So it is what it is. And then folks will be like, oh, what about back or forwarder? We don't do that either. You're right, Sailor Moon. We don't do that either. You know, we don't have no businesses reaching out to us to have their shit talked about. We're not, we don't have no Patreon, that French bard, where we don't have no backing affording websteads like GoFundMe or anything like that. We do all this for free. You know, we're not making any income or trade worth or gout on this. So it is what it is. No, we never want to be a YouTube mate. That never is going to happen. And if that irks some folks that we don't want to do that, then that's too bad. We have our own lives, and if it works out for some folks on YouTube, good for them. If they had all their shit together and they knew what they were doing and they knew all the oversights that came with it, then good for them. But we aren't one of them. And we never want to be don't want to be any of them. And it is what it is. I'm Sailor Moon, I'm Sailor Earth, we'll see you later.